What's going on? Welcome to today's video where we are going to talk about Aethir Cloud. Aethir Cloud is a company that is focused on revolutionizing cloud computing through its decentralized cloud infrastructure. Aethir fits in the DePIN sector, and after conducting this research, I've come to the conclusion that they are definitely going to be a leader in their sector. So without further ado, let's get into it. Now, Aethir is a cloud computing company. They're focused on providing the infrastructure required for many different reasons. But one of the things that they are really focused on is the GPU infrastructure. Aethir is actually an enterprise-focused project. They really use the power of scale to their benefit, currently only in a testnet. Aethir focuses on leveraging a network of distributed network resources. They seek to overcome the problem that most centralized cloud services have, while at the same time enhancing security, privacy, scalability, as well as the cost effectiveness. So before we go any further, let's talk about what a GPU is and what a CPU is. GPU stands for Graphics Processing Unit. This is designed for rapid mathematical calculations, particularly those involved in rendering images or videos. GPUs are actually super effective in handling parallel tasks, which is why it actually really excels in graphics rendering, as well as complex computations that are required by modern AI and machine learning applications. Now on the flip side, CPU stands for Central Processing Unit, which this is usually the major part of the computer that does the majority of the processing. Now a CPU can actually handle a few complex tasks very quickly, but it does have a limited amount of cores. A GPU has thousands of cores, which enable it to multitask. GPUs were initially dedicated to gaming to process graphics and render the imaging. However, their ability to process multiple streams of data at once makes them much more suitable for things like machine learning and artificial intelligence, especially as these industries grow. Now, GPUs actually play a really significant role when it comes to artificial intelligence and machine learning. This is because they can perform a high number of calculations, which are required by deep learning algorithms really effectively, which has led to a surge in demand for GPUs as the AI and machine learning sectors grow exponentially. As you can see, machine learning is really leading the growth. On every single metric, AI is growing. So the demand for GPU power has literally only started. Games are only going to get better quality, AI algorithms are only going to get more complex, and machine learning's only going to need more storage. Here's a visualization of where the GPU market forecast should be. This helps to show how the GPU market is growing. As you can see, it's going to be huge. And as you can see, there's so many different sectors that are actually going to be using GPU power as well. Automotive, data centers, cellular, gaming, AI. There's literally so much demand for it in almost every sector. On top of that, it's also a worldwide demand. As you can see, Asia Pacific actually has a higher demand than North America, which I never would have thought of before looking into this. Just some interesting graphics. Moving on. Let's focus a little more on the gaming industry and its correlation with GPU as well. I think we can all agree that gaming is a sector that's never going to stop growing. It's always going to be more advanced, always going to be more realistic. All of this requires GPU power. There's actually such a shortage of this. Literally every online application you interact with is being ran on a server centralized somewhere. Obviously, unless it's a Web3 application. But not only is it going to be really used in gaming, GPU also has super high demand in Internet of Things, which I didn't even really know what this was before researching this, but basically GPUs are increasingly being used for edge computing, where they process data locally on a device instead of sending it to a data center. Now to wrap this all up, the global gaming GPU market is expected to grow, compounded annually by 14%. As this demand has been skyrocketing, GPU manufacturers are actually struggling to keep up with the demand and have found it challenging to fulfill orders. These supply chain disruptions have actually resulted in severe GPU shortages, leaving lots of organizations scrambling to find a cheap alternative. Now, GPUs do have some potential competitors. This would be something called a FPGA, which stands for Field Programmable Gate Arrays. These are basically integrated circuits with a programmable hardware fabric. Unlike GPUs or ASICs, the circuitry inside is actually not hard etched, and it can actually be reprogrammed whenever needed, which makes them a good alternative. So some of the pros of this are good performance, low latency, high throughput, excellent value, it's a pretty decent cost, as well as it doesn't consume much power. But let's actually rank these. Now, coming in at number 1 is GPUs. They're the best for a wide range of AI tasks, especially with deep learning. GPUs offer a really good balance of flexibility, power, cost effectiveness, and are just really the top pick for most AI computations. Their parallel processing capabilities really make them the ideal pick and make them efficient. Just all around, GPUs are most ideal for AI and machine learning. Number 2 is ASICs. These are application-specific integrated circuits. So it's basically an integrated circuit that is programmed for a particular use. They're programmed this way to be super fast and super efficient for one specific task. So ASICs offer high performance, energy efficiency, but really lack in flexibility, even though they are still becoming a little more common in AI computations. Number 3 is FPGAs. They really offer a good balance between GPUs and CPUs as far as flexibility goes. They can still be reprogrammed to do specific tasks, which makes them more adaptable than ASICs but less efficient. FPGAs are really suitable for custom, performance critical tasks. And then at number 4, we have CPUs. While CPUs are the most flexible and general purpose processors available, CPUs are typically less efficient than GPUs, especially in AI calculations, as well as machine learning tasks. And this is really due to their low parallel processing capabilities. However, CPUs are still essential for tasks that require sequential processing and serve as the backbone of computing infrastructures. So let's get back to Aethir. Like I said, Aethir is a cloud computing company that is focused on building out a distributed GPU cloud infrastructure. Aethir Cloud is different with its decentralized infrastructure because it features things like enhanced security and privacy, reducing downtime, and enhancing the reliability of the cloud infrastructure. Cost effectiveness. By utilizing things like idling computers worldwide, decentralized clouds can really offer super competitive pricing based on the scale that they have access to. And Aethir's model in particular aims for a low cost barrier entry point, making it way more accessible for individuals and companies. Next is their scalability. As the demand for GPUs grow, decentralized networks like Aethir can easily expand. And the last thing is the global access. Aethir's decentralized approach is designed to be universally accessible, breaking down all geographic barriers. Now, why should Aethir ultimately be successful? A is because of their innovation in cloud computing. Aethir's decentralized model really addresses key pain points in the traditional cloud sector, such as cost, scalability, and security. Aethir also has really strategic partnerships. For example, Animoca Brands, Miranda Ventures, Citizen X, Sanction Capital. They also have a partnership with Nvidia in their Inception program, which this is huge, as the Nvidia Inception program is actually designed to nurture startups by providing them access to deep learning courses, go-to-market guidance, and the opportunity to network with key venture capitalists. It just all around is huge for Aethir. They basically have unlimited resources to do what they're trying to do. And the last reason they're ultimately going to be successful is because this demand for GPU power is only going to increase. In my opinion, I think it's going to be an exponential increase as technology develops. Not only do they need this extra GPU power, but it needs to be secure, reliable, and scalable. And Aethir seeks to solve all of those problems. So I'm super bullish on Aethir. Really excited to see how they perform in this cycle. This is definitely a project to put on your watch lists. There's not a token yet, so do not get scammed. That is going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching, and promise me to stay degen.